Okay, welcome into episode 3 of Strange Ways. I am Rob, and the disco dude over there is Scott. And he's got another idea. I'll let him explain to you here.
All right, I'm with you, and let me get some light so you guys don't get confused. What we're going to do today is we're going to pay homage to the first two Kiss studio albums, which is Kiss Kiss and Harder Hill. All right, y'all got that one? Hey, this is 50 years, man. 50 years this year, those albums were released. And damn, it don't seem that long. I wasn't a fan when they were released, but not long after. And we might even touch base on a little bit of Wicked Lester.
Oh,
Anyway, we'll see where it goes, guys. So the first two studio albums, we're going to rank our songs. I'll go, Rob will go. You guys know how this works. Until we get through the catalog of the songs to find out which song we like the best on each album, and ultimately which one we least like. Starting with the least.
and again, full disclosure for the Kiss fans are pretty cool, but on my other channel, some of these bands, these newer bands, if you say this is my least favorite, they assume you hate it and they call you all kinds of names, and they don't seem to understand the concept that not everything can be the best on an album. So some of them have to be last. Doesn't mean we hate them in all cases anyway.
Welcome to the modern day era, bro. You can't say nothing without it being misconstrued.
The thing is, though, most of these people watching these new bands are people our age. But it's like they came from a whole different parallel universe and they don't understand tough love or just, yeah, I don't care for this. They just think everything has to be worshipped by their favorite band. And like I always say in the comments there, yeah, I was like that when I was 10.
Hey, you got to look at it this way, bro. Look, the reason I get pissed off at Kiss because I love them so much and I know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
The things I don't like, that's the passion of it, man. You can't go hand in hand with every single thing, bro, especially a band that's got that many albums and has lasted for 50 years.
Yep.
So,
all right. Well, I'll let you kick off where we're going worst to first, right?
Yeah, man. I guess we'll kick off with the, let me put it up here. The number one studio album by the band, Kiss debut. All right. My least favorite. Now, it doesn't mean all you sensitive people out there in this world today, it doesn't mean I don't like it, okay? Because there's not much on these first 6 albums that I don't like. So, but something's got to go somewhere. Yep. That's just the way it is. All right. Mine's going to be the love theme because it's, I really don't know what kind of sentimental value it was to them. It's just something that they decided to throw in there, I guess, just to make the album complete to them. It's instrumental, and Acrobat is the way I would have went, but I don't know if they thought it might have made the album too long. Don't know, but that would be my least favorite track on the debut.
And I'm right there with you. And I used to be, a big, because that's the only way you knew about Kiss, right? You read every magazine article and stuff. But I don't recall what the decision was and why this made the album, why they felt it necessary. But for me, number one, I'm not an instrumental guy. That's not a secret. I want words. I don't care if they're in Japanese. I want words.
Me too.
But I'm not going to say I hate it, but I don't even like it. I never did. This might be the most ignored and skipped track in my entire 50 years of existence. I don't think even when I first got the album, I probably listened to it the first time and I was waiting for it to get good. I mean, I'm just assuming at this point it was too long ago, but I never ever have put this on a mixed album. I've never sat and listened to it on purpose other than the first time I heard it. I don't understand it, especially when you look at how heavy the rest of the album is. I don't understand what I did look at the writing credits before this started, and there was a handful of people involved in this outside
Yeah,
of Gene and Paul and Ace. So I don't get it. I don't know if this was strong armed by the record label or what the deal is. It just doesn't. You said to fill out the album, but it doesn't even fit. I mean, whether it's Acrobat or pick anything they could have redone off of Wicked Lester, anything would have been better than that.
I think it might have been the last thing they probably ended it with. Now, I don't know that for sure. Just to make it like is it a 10 track album?
Yeah.
You know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually 9. Okay, that might have been the case. They might have wanted to make it so they put a little hum along, intro or not intro, but instrumental to, I guess, appease maybe some people like the instrumentals like that. I really don't know.
Well, I think
You know?
my cat Deuce here was aware of the first album with the song Deuce on it, so he wanted to make a cameo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, you ready for number 2?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, just let me know. I didn't know if you were doing something. My number, that since there's 9 tracks, 9 tracks on the first album, I'm gonna go with number
9.
8.
There's
Yeah,
10. There's 10.
there is.
Yeah.
What?
Oh no, there is only 9.
I
I
was
got
going to say, what am I missing?
yeah, I got double vision on one of them. Okay, never mind.
I always thought there were 10 too. I don't know why, but I'm gonna go with number 8. And don't jump me, guys. But I don't think I'll get jumped for this one. This is the first song that Gene and Paul ever wrote together, and I guess this had some sentimental value to them, and I guess I can understand. I like it when they know, and then they start, I can kind of dig that part more. Sunday Driver was what it was. Now it's Let Me Know. So that would be my number 8 on this debut album. I still like it pretty good though.
Well, I will get jumped 6 ways of Sunday for my number 8. I love my cat. I do not like the song Deuce. I never have, not as a kid, not as a teenager, not as an adult. I don't get it. I don't understand, other than, it's a kind of a cool guitar intro, but the song itself does nothing for me. The chorus does nothing for me. So yeah, the last 2 here were pretty easy for me. It gets tough after this.
Oh, okay. Hey, look, I think I explained it when we was going through our other things, and my computer, what is it with me and these damn technical difficulties? My computer just died, but I do remember because I had them up, on my playlist.
Yep.
So what I'll do is I will resort till it gets back up and running, because I accidentally unplugged it and didn't know, so it died. So it'll be back up in a minute. But I do remember what my next one was. It was, damn it, this is aggravating. What's a,
Hard to read.
yeah, it is, man, because my eyes is just not what it used to be.
Yeah, I can.
There you go. We got some lighting. Okay, I think I got my list back up here. I'm thinking it's Strutter, and I know I'm gonna get jumped for that one, and I love Strutter, man. The rest of these songs are I can dig, man. I mean, Come on, baby, come on. But I'm pretty sure it's Strutter. I've always liked Strutter. Don't get me wrong. Like we talked about in our last one, I dig the. It is Strutter. Okay, I dig the '78 version a little bit better
Yep.
than this one. But I've still got nothing against this one. I think it's a great song. Paul really sings his ass off, and Ace's solo is kicking ass. I really like Strutter, so there's no way to go in no bad order from here on out for me that you can go in. So
That's the way. And I was going through this before we started. I'm like, damn, I kind of like this album more than I thought. I mean, I like the song. Of course, I like the production. I always, in my mind, thought I did not like the speed of this album. They were playing in quicksand. Turns out, one song made me think that way of the whole album, and that's the song I'm putting in here now at Firehouse.
Yeah, I figured that.
Firehouse could be a really good song. It is live, but this just it's like it's being played on the wrong speed. It's just too slow.
Really? Okay. Hey, man, that's your opinion, and I respect it because I love it at this speed. But I'll get to that. Never mind. Yeah, I'm just cackling on here. I'm trying to get organized. I think I'm organized. All right. My next one is going to be Cold Gin.
Gin.
Now, like I said, man, I mean, I've got nothing against any of these songs. They've got to fall in order somewhere. You can't put them all number one, number two, number three, and that's just where it fell for me this time. Now I'm gonna tell you, back when I was doing my own thing, I wished I could remember. Say, I wish that YouTube hadn't done me that way. It really busted me up, man. 5 years worth of material, and I didn't really know what the hell I was doing wrong because they never did let me know. And they just flat me out with no excuses.
I'm gonna have to talk to you about that maybe off air sometime. I'm curious of that.
Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, that would be it. It's probably totally different than now, especially in the middle there. But yeah, Cold Gin would be my next one, even though, hey, I love the song. So
my next one is one I really, really liked as a younger teenager. Not so much anymore. Not that I hate it now, but it's really gotten to the point where I won't listen to it. Not again that it's brutal. It just, as I got older, started to do less and less for me, and that's 100,000 Years. I like how dark it is. I like what Paul does with the flames and the "Do You Feel All Right" when it's live, but the song itself it's not singable. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not a sing-along song to me, and that's kind of where my heart lies with all music. So it is what it is.
And I've heard people say that they didn't like that little drum fill in the middle, which I love.
No, that's fine.
I've heard people say that. So, hey, like I said, this is a tough thing to do.
It is.
It is. It's a lot harder than you think it's going to be before you do it. That's the problem. Hey, okay. I'm going next with, you're gonna hit it, Deuce. Now, Deuce, I think last time fell a little bit further down. It's always in the middle for me. One raised up a little bit higher that most people are, we'll get to that. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but Deuce, I've never been a monster Deuce fan. I do like some of the shows where Gene opens with Deuce, like Live One, and some of the shows that I've been to, man, they really done a good job with it live, opening the curtain dropping and the boom, really exciting, time when they're playing it. But on the first album, which I do love really a lot, but the production kills it a little bit for me. a lot for me, on some of these songs. And Deuce to me is one of them. I mean, it just, some of the songs I can relate to with this kind of production. Not the best, but some songs I think it just flattens out really, and I think that's one of them for me.
Gotcha. Okay, well, my next one on here, going into this before I started making my list, I thought this would be an easy bottom lister. But then I listened to it and Paul saves it, and that is Let Me Know, uh, formerly Sunday Driver. Starts out, I don't care for the intro. I don't care for even the song itself. Gene's voice does nothing for that first verse, but when Paul kicks in, it just goes to another gear. His voice can pretty much save anything, especially back in the 70s. And it pulled it from being my second to last, because Love Theme for Kiss is always going to be last. But it elevated it up a few spots. So
I'm with you on that, man. But I do really like that song, even though mine did fall down, further. But
right.
I've got a time and place for that song, I guess, man. And I don't really ever skip it, but it's kind of So
yeah,
I'll take one of your little shenanigans. So, there you go. All right, man. My next one is going to be Firehouse. Now, this one at one time was my favorite one on here.
Really?
Yes, I've always loved, and I'll explain. I love how it's played. Believe it or not, I love the slowness and the just tempo of it. One of the rare people, I guess, that do love the tempo of it, because I love it when they do it live and when they get, she adores you, and they just stop and she for you, and they stop. I just love how they pick up and stop in that song. Don't ask me why. I've always liked Firehouse. Probably like it a little more than where I put it, but at this point in time, like us twisted Kiss fans that we are, some things get us different at different times, like you said.
This whole list could change next week.
Easily. You never know.
Okay, so then my next one you've already touched on. It is Strutter. I love this song more live than I do on the studio album. It's a very well written song. I mean, the lyrics are awesome. I love the story it's telling, the imagery he gets into, but it just, I don't want to say it's a skippable track, but if I'm not in the right mood, I'll skip it. I mean, it won't go on. It would take a real good day for me in the Strutter mold to even put it on a compilation that I make, before I head out to the car or something. It's just, I don't hate it. I liked it when I was younger. It just is what it is right now. I can take it or leave it.
Hey, I got you on that, man. I mean, live, you're not going to skip it, but this version is just not your cup of tea sometimes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm the same way with some of
these
songs.
I do like Strutter 78 much better.
Yeah, I don't know. It ain't much difference, but still something about the drum feel.
For me, like I talked on our last video, it's that ending minute where Paul's doing the ad lib singing that adds so much to it.
Yes, yep. All right. I will probably get thrashed for this one, but I don't know why. I mean, it's coming up on my third favorite song on this album. It used to be lower though, because at one time I'm back and forth with this song, and I love Peter. And to be honest with you, most people and podcasters that I have heard ranking this album, this is their favorite one. So Black Diamond is my number 3. And I love it, guys. Don't hit me with tomatoes and apples and all that. Look, I love it. I do love the song. I love Peter singing it. I love the intro, Out on the Street for the Living. Paul, that's nothing wrong with it. I even love the thrown out ending. I'm one of those guys. I love the rock and roll party. the drawn out ending, the intro to Detroit. Give it all to me, man. I love it.
All right. Well, I will give you some why I think they rate it so high when I get to it. But my next one is Cold Gin. This is another one. The speed on the album is fine, but I like it much better live, especially when it comes to that little guitar riff in the middle where they do their movements. When that's sped up a little bit, it grooves so much better. It's a great song. Always like Cold Gin. I love Paul's intro to it with his, his whole speech on it. Just a great song. But not great enough to overcome the next three, but I love it.
That's the most memorable track to me on a
live. Yeah.
One, especially when I was young.
Yeah.
You want to take a taste of alcohol? I mean, it was just, God, we would listen to that with our broomsticks and our buckets, man. I mean, we were crazy. I'm telling you, man. All right, my second favorite, dude, and this is coming down to neither one of these could be my favorite at this point in time, and actually they have been for a while. Kissing Time is my number two, and I do not understand for the life of me, man, why people hate this song. I think a lot of them hate it because Gene and Paul and the band hate it, and maybe that's why. But really, I don't get it, dude. I think this they say, I mean, come on, Charlotte, let's go San Diego, Milwaukee, Miami. I mean, they really block this song out. People take time, turn it up, listen to it. Listen how good it is. It's great. Peter's drumming is wicked. The solo ace, it's Paul, Peter, Gene, both sing, all of them sing tremendously on this song. I don't get it. They didn't want to do it.
I think I don't know about Kiss, but the Kiss fans who don't like it, I think it comes down to something as petty as Kiss didn't write it. And they don't like the idea of their band having a song that's as good as their music written by somebody else and played by somebody else. I don't know. I don't get it either.
And being pushed into do it, because Neil Bogart was, he was the one that took the gamble and said, hey, so I guess they were kind of afraid to push back at the time. They really couldn't, but I truly think they made it their song. And let's get one thing straight here. Every song that Kiss has done that's been a cover, I never knew it was a cover. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, me too. And I didn't know New York Groove was a cover for decades after it came out, because they were smart enough to never do one that they couldn't outsell and outperform.
They made it their song.
And they made it their own, and they did not pick ones that were household names that everybody knew. So it was a smart, if you're going to do a cover, that's a smart way to do it. The last thing you want to do is come out and do, Stairway to Heaven or something 5 years after Zeppelin does it. I mean, you want to pick something more obscure.
I agree.
Okay, so then my that was your number two?
Yep.
How did we get off here? Because I'm coming up to my number three.
Oh, really? Okay. Love Theme, that was my least favorite. Let Me Know, Strutter, Cold Gin, Deuce, Firehouse, and Black Diamond. So far, I have 7, 8 would be Kissing Time. Go ahead and run through your list right quick.
Okay, I had Love Theme from Kiss, Deuce, Firehouse, 100,000 Years. You haven't talked about 100,000 Years.
No, not yet. Okay,
so then, well, we'll see how this plays out. Something's off. We'll figure it out. So my number 3 is Black Diamond. To touch on what you were talking about with why people, especially podcasters, put this at number 1. I honestly think it is because of the significance of that is like Rock and Roll All Night. That is like, shout out. It's been in the set list forever. It represents for most podcasters are diehard original 470s only, so it represents Peter Criss, their golden child. It is a good song. It is, and that's why it's number 3 for me. Any day it probably could have went to number 1, unlike you, if they would have got rid of that 1 minute, whatever the hell that ending is that just drags on forever. I get it. As a kid, I thought it was cool, but as an adult, it's like, I'm not going to skip. Next, I heard Black Diamond. I'm not going to sit and listen to this for a minute yet just till the next track starts. I love Peter's voice, always have. I think he's got one of the greatest rock voices I've ever heard. Paul's intro on this, I like better live. It's a little too slow and soft for me on this, but I love the song. So I think the tradition of it is why so many hold it in high regard. I really do. I think a lot of people don't even realize why they like things because they're not taking the time to step back and question why. It is what I've always been a why person.
And some people just don't. They're too stubborn to change their ways.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I think I know what happened. Black Diamond, I had 3 too. We hit that one on the same. I think I actually win again.
Okay.
And so gotcha. Your number 2 is coming.
So my number 2 then I believe was your number 2, Kissin' Time.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I just listened to it again before I started. There's nothing bad about this song. Nothing at all. And I've heard the original, and that's a good song. But like you, I had no clue that was a remake until I was 5-6 albums beyond this. I mean, and that's just because I read it or somebody told me it was or something. Not that I ever heard it on the radio. I had to search this out as a teenager to hear the original on the internet when the internet became a thing, late teenager. But I love this. I love all 3 Paul, Gene, and Peter's vocals on this. I love the chorus. It's moving, like you said. How perfect is that if they were to have been playing that live? You're shouting out towns you go to. It pretty much is like an anthem for being on the road as a rock star. I just don't understand why it gets hate. It's not soft. It's not a wussy song. It's heavy. It's got a good groove. And you're hearing 3 vocalists on it. I mean, I love the song. I really do.
I do too, man. And I can't, I've never let nobody sway me either. You seem like a person too that's got your own mind. Yep. You know what you like. It doesn't matter. That's me. Same way, bro. Okay, guys, we're coming to the finale of the first album. Of course, 100,000 Years for me. It's probably been my favorite on here for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, give or take. Nobody's counting. At one time, it wasn't, but it is now. I love 100,000 Years. It's a song. If Paul could have kept his voice throughout the years, it lived through the mid-2000s, until the end of the road, it's something that, I don't know, did they keep it in the set every
Yes, they did, and I don't... and they didn't for the longest time with his vocal prowess, but it's like as the years got closer to the end, they decided, well, what's a good idea for me that I'm struggling so much with my voice? Oh, I know, 100,000 years, and then I'll try to still do that middle sing-along where I'm screaming and his voice is breaking, and it's terrible, terrible.
I always looked forward to that part in the middle where the drums would start playing and Paul would come there with a microphone and start slinging it. It'd be, oh man, he could do it so good at that when he had his voice. And I mean, it would echo just all over the place. And I'm an echo guy,
Me too.
I can't say that enough. I love the echo off of when they do that. And there you go, man.
Man, if he could have, I would have been curious to see him doing that. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I wish Paul still sounded like he did in 1975. And even Paul says it. Oh, if people want me to sound like 1975, put on a lie. I don't. I want to hear Paul sound like he did in the 80s. That's where he was the strongest. Can you imagine if he did 100,000 Years live in the 80s? The crap he was doing with I Want You at the end, doing this thing off with the drum solo. When he was that peak Paul Stanley doing 100,000 Years, that would have been epic.
I'll take anything between, say, Rock and Roll Over and freaking Crazy Nights.
Yeah.
I'll take anything of his vocals
Yeah.
in between, even Hot in the Shade or even Revenge. I don't know. I mean, yeah,
He hadn't lost it because even the actual first year of the reunion tour, going back and watching stuff online, he hadn't lost his voice yet. I
no,
think that started going towards the end of the reunion and into Psycho Circus.
that, yeah. And, actually, I can't say that either because the shows that I seen, and we'll get into that. How much time we got on?
We got 8 minutes. That's plenty of time for me to hit my number one and double check your list because I don't remember you listing this one, and my number one is Nothing to Lose.
Oh, I didn't.
There, I knew there was a track missing on your list.
Okay, I know exactly where I'm going to put.
Plug it in. I'll let you plug it in before I hit it.
Yeah, I will do that right now. Love Theme, Let Me Know, Strutter, Cold Gin, Deuce, Nothing to Lose, Firehouse, Black Diamond, Kissing Time, and 100,000 Years.
Okay.
That's where mine. There is 10 tracks, dude.
Okay. So Nothing to Lose for me, and I'll get crucified for this because the best version I've ever heard in my life is Eric Singer doing it on MTV Unplugged.
No.
To me, I know you don't have a lot good to say about Eric Singer. I think
I'll give him due, man. I do. I'm that's not my favorite because of the acoustic and stuff. But I did like it. I do like it. I got nothing against the MTV thing. I love it. But it's not my favorite.
Yeah. To me, it just the combo of his voice with Peter's voice was magic for me. But even with Gene singing, I've always loved this song. And in fact, again, I get flack for my reaction channel, and they're like, well, how come you don't mention what the song means? Don't you know what this means? Why are you dogging the song? This is a great meaning. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit about lyrics. I can sing along with a song for 10 years and not even know what I'm singing. I'll sing the words right, but my brain doesn't stop to think, what does this mean? Right? That's just not the way I operate. So I was driving around at one of my delivery jobs in my 20s, and it dawned on me. I'm just listening. I'm like, son of a bitch, she's talking about fucking anal sex.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I didn't know that till 2 or 3 years ago, bro. That's how much I pay attention to lyrics, man. If music hits me, man, I don't give a damn what they're saying. As long as they sing, they're doing it.
Yeah. As long as they're singing, I don't care what the hell they're saying. Like I made a joke on there and I got quite a bit of laughs. I don't give a shit if they're talking about, laundry detergent. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You take any song that you love and just replace it with any words you make up that rhyme. The song don't change depending on what it means. It just doesn't. I'm not a guy who's into poetry and all that bullshit. But I love this song. I love the groove. I love the chorus. I've always loved it. It never is a skippable song for me. So that's my number one.
Me either. And that was their first, of course, single.
Yeah.
They released off that album. And, hey, and that's why I guess, like I said, I didn't have a problem with it, man. I love most of these songs. Probably the Love Theme would probably be the only one that I wouldn't go to for some reason, but you could put them in a blender, bro. And it's like I said, even this time, it was hard, man. I thought this was going to be a piece of cake.
I thought this was going to be easy because I remember disliking the production much more than I actually do. So when I started going through track by track, I'm like, no, wait a minute. I like how this sounds. And it was that firehouse I couldn't get past for me. And it almost in my mind must have tainted the whole album, and it wasn't.
And that's what a lot of people do. And I tell people, even on my older ones, I would tell people, look, if you're not liking it, you probably haven't heard it in a long time. You haven't put that album on, or this song, or that album, or this. Turn it up, bro, and listen to it. Don't listen to it where you can barely hear it. You're not paying attention. Turn the damn thing up.
Yes.
Jack it up on a system that sounds good. Put your headphones on, whatever. listen to it, man,
Yeah.
because some of these songs sound a lot better than what we really realize they sound like, because their productions on a lot of their other albums is so much better. That's what we think everything's probably supposed to sound like, but it don't.
Right.
And a lot of people just take it.
And that's the problem with being a 70s in this case, but even 50s, 60s and stuff. You go back and I always knock the Beatles forever. And my line I keep going back to is the Beatles make great music as long as someone else sings it. And I think that it's not a real knock at Paul McCartney. I think the sound production is so bad in the early recording days that it really ruins a lot of songs. Like I love Elvis. You try to put an old Elvis track that hasn't been digitally remastered, just an original Elvis track on a loud system and see how shitty it sounds. I mean, it's
exactly
Buddy
I mean,
Holly, all this stuff that I like from the 50s, I can't listen to on purpose, really. It's fine if it's low in the background, but if you really turn it up and try to enjoy it, the production is so bad. And
yeah,
I think that ruins a lot. And now people are listening to Crazy Nights and Revenge and all this, and they get the modern technology, the great equalized bass and everything. And then they listen to an old Kiss track like, oh, it sucks. No, it's just you got to time and place. You got to remember when it was recorded.
technology, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, they just didn't have the technology to make things sound. The bass, they didn't have the bass back then.
Yeah.
And just like Paul did say in the complete fake Second Coming,
Yeah.
DVD that they made, you could put triggers on Peter's drums because Peter, of course, couldn't do the alive one arm swinging he'd done when they got back together. His arms, he was older, but he hit the beat, and he said, I was hearing this thunderous drum sound, and he said, I looked back, and Peter looked like he was about to, break his arms or something. He didn't know if he was going to hurt his arms. He was swinging. He wasn't really hitting them that hard. So technology, bro, has made the difference.
Okay, a minute and a half. We'll kill this and come back with Hotter Than Hell.
And that is the debut album. Yeah, that way you can make two separate. Okay.
All right. Here we go.